Hello, ladies and gentlemen, let's play
Okay, come on.
last epoch. I'll be soon back. I let it out. I'll be soon back.
Then you go with like a PS3. It really is. It's 10 years ago. How you doing, Hungary? Birdie, welcome on in. I'm doing very well. Hopefully you're doing well too. Happy Easter. Happy Easter to everyone else as well. When the words are said, I want
Let's
to
not.
be nice. Ordering two events to the place.
Don't touch easy. I want to get season.
Everyone can come from PS3 usually.
I want to
Doesn't find
season.
that's what I told you that.
In the beginning, there was darkness. Only the terror,
55
myself,
seconds.
and the void.
Okay.
I was content with nothing. She dreamt of
Yeah,
light,
no, I need to go back to that event.
Of
I
life.
Hold on.
of humanity.
I got pushed into this, so
We disagreed. And yet, in her world, there were gods. Mujasa of the desert,
that's a quick
Largon of the sea, Rai of the endless skies, and Hierot of the frozen tundra. But fate stole Raquel away. Without her, there was conflict, then wars. In the end, it was Rai who sought to outshine the sun that would pull the world into his flame. Caught within Rai's gaze were the Keepers, an order sworn to protect Eterra's memory and the power it still holds.
sucks.
They were joined by someone
Basically,
unexpected, a
still on the
traveler
previous one, and
willing to walk into the flames of war. But why? Was it honor they sought? Power? Redemption? Or was this fate? Perhaps. But no story is quite that simple.
If they change season, why don't they change the name of the season? It would be fun if you change the story.
I can still feel the restless spirits of my family. The Temple of Eterra will have my answers.
Traveler, our Heoborian as keepers, he wishes to destroy us and steal Eterra's legacy. We can't let that happen.
then we're gonna eat the mountain soulstone.
Yeah, that's so close.
Okay.
No.
When you arrived, it was my mistake. They were cold. I can handle ospreys. I told them to. What good are we? Are you also here for the peace talks? Good. Name's Greg. No one come. Let me watch you fight. Smoke.
Oh, every time. Friggin' tunnel sucks. Oh, there we go. The monk was his best down the road. Go to him. Hey, Craig. You got as much.
Hoe laat eten we, mam?
Goes are insane.
Papa ate mom.
That's what's this style of fingers and swirls.
Mama, hoe laat gaan we eten? Zo, man. Nu was het me wel.
So much destruction. For what?
Dying. Yes, there we go. Gotcha. Same version I had to sign up for the original history for that sucks. And the full copy can be oh yes.
Als je op het touw komt, I wish I was home. I played that.
Where'd you learn to fight?
What is it about the food? Thank you very much for
Let's go. Let's see if it's more.
10 years, basically.
Yeah,
Just keep it up.
Eat.
So it makes it even harder for me to purchase more.
Yeah.
221.
Quick! Before it reaches town! Well done. We're almost there. I'll see you ahead.
The keepers have proven difficult. I instructed they're not guarding the ruins. They're traveling between them, over and over.
Paradise City
They must be
vibes.
moving with them. It'll be as simple as burning these
Mountains of
vermin
Paradise
to
City.
ash.
Ja, en hier is er één. Dat is er wat aan.
Sounds like their leaders. The keepers have done what a group. Even then, it's now. Speaking of, I must head there now. Feel free to look around.
Ik kan het is zo.
Impossible.
Ik kan het is met.
God damn it. Damn crash. $50,000 is 1 million rand in my country to buy a nice house and stuff like video games. Damn, that's crazy.
Ja.
$50,000 barely gets me a deposit for a house here. Which is insane.
Okay, now it's easy to control. Now I got the partner. Now now it's okay. Girls, I need to do this as a question. Okay. Thank you. No. Come on. This is bullshit. That's the button for time.
Seth Ross, how you doing? I'm in Australia, yeah. I live in Australia. And my games are worth 50k, yeah. Over 50,000 at the moment. Dream if yeah, I just can't own a home over here. It's impossible unless you have an insanely good job.
Yeah, you can choose. Epic Games Store Teams. Wait, is my library? No.
Deeply apologize for the Springboks. If it was sporting, I'm not too sure. I don't follow much sports.
Doesn't team. Ah, ik mag geen glas altijd doen. Ik denk dat glas is nu. Hello, don't this, but there is a new compound available. Yeah, I want to like this.
Every time that fucking turnaround here is ridiculous. Ugh. But I was thinking Pokemon have $1 million a month, so I buy a house in Australia to rent. That's why I probably stop in Australia. That makes sense. Pastime puts on a posh voice for stream. Offshoot is a full-on Aussie. Right.
Mag ik glaswater, pa?
Dat kun je niet betalen, hè? Dat kun je niet betalen.
Hoe laat gaan we eten, denkt u?
Nou, als het klaar is, denk ik.
Dat weet ik zelf niet.
Het is klaar als we gaan eten.
Ja, dat weet ik, maar ik wilde weten wanneer het klaar is.
That we already did that joke. Bath 3 is more harder. I 100% did Bath 3. It's just some races in this are like,
Ja, joh.
you have to be perfect.
Je moeder heeft ziekte.
Perfect.
Paardje.
I crash one.
Komt er wel veel apparaat op.
How you doing anyway?
Nee.
Welcome on in.
Ta-da-la-la-la-la. And the only explanation I can get.
Good at racing. I do enjoy racing games. I'll say that much. I've said it before. It was weird the ability to like grasp the physics of the game pretty quickly. When it comes to racing games, anyway.
What else have I can do? Yeah, I don't know.
That was terrible.
That ain't the marriage. Do the same thing.
Ooh. I thought there was solid fences, so I never tried to hit them. I realised now they're not. I'm so tired. Good. Oh my god. So close to the rocks. So close to those rocks. Kidding me. No way.
Natuurlijk, aardappelen zijn weer hard. Mama, is aardappelen weer hard? Mom?
So close. Crashed completely functioned in this game. Well, for the brain left anyway.
Het ziet allemaal niks van. The explanation. Het heeft geregend inderdaad. Nou,
We're taking that shortcut.
nauwelijks, niet indrukwekkend.
That's not it.
Maar je ziet de tafel is nat. Dat klopt dus.
Oh man.
Yay!
That was crazy.
Ik heb gelijk. Ja!
Fearless.
Ik heb er niet van deugend meer. 6 uur geweest, het is 3 diner gelukkig.
Ja.
Nee, diner gelukkig.
Het komt door jou, omdat die pannen, dat aardappelen zo hard zijn. Dat komt door jou.
Nee, mama heeft gisteren heel veel boodschappen gedaan. Met papa's boodschappenbeurt was, maar vandaag niks heen. Je kunt toch wel zeggen, foei mama.
Foei papa.
Nee, foei mama.
Foei papa.
Oh.
Ik ben opgeleid om alleen foei papa te zeggen. Ja, dat is een nieuw spel is
Like fire
uitgebracht.
already. The fact that you're doing those other events first, though. Yeah, it took a long while. Hey, Neo Hero, Grow of Burnout 2. I never played Burnout 2. Burnout 3 was the only one I ever started off with. I eventually look forward to going back to playing, to eventually playing Burnout 1, 2. And see how they are.
Ja, hij dissect Steam. Hij dissect anything, dus. Downloading is still going.
Fight through traffic for Windows in golden awesome mode, okay? Crash breakers are hard. Oh man. Yeah, I'm sort of guessing it wasn't until number 3 that takedowns were sort of brought into it. Ah, damn. Oh, building.
Take him! Yoo-hoo!
nice. Oh no. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
If I don't want to make Paradise City by Thunder Rose with Better Paradise. Oh, such a good song there. Actually, down
Yeah.
on the music in this one. This nice. Yeah, I remember trying to borrow that free take down a long time ago from somebody.
Hey, come on. Ja, kom al. Kan niet zo snel zakken, Kool.
They really do. It really does.
Ja, zaten.
So Resident Evil 3 they had. Yeah, even.
Mama, het moest mijn stoel zakken, man.
Not hacked. Just normal.
Hoort u mij?
You can go up to 1080i, which is Gran Turismo 4.
Hé, zet je hem nou uit?
Ja.
A couple of others, I'm pretty sure. They go up to 1080i for the PS2.
Domme.
Sommige mensen willen het journaal wel horen, hè?
Once again, I think I've seen the tribe came on there, but I never heard of tribes before doing this challenge. Bye-bye. Really?
Normaal.
No, really? That's so annoying. Oh, I would love to be. I've said it before multiple times. I would love to host like online games on PS2. Hey, Morg. 360 was 19 and a half years ago. Damn. Oh my god. What? Why did it try to. What the hell are you doing? I do take down. Yes. Oh, that was it. Oh, shit, I've been way too far. I think what was pushing button was the legendary song. Oh, Galvanize. No, someone's called Galvanize. Craig. It's a great song. Fantastic song. Sick. Hello there, Science. Is it true that after you retired from wrestling, you drove and won the Alpine Rally? Please, sir, tell me his name right now. What news is this today? No comment. No comment. Push your driving through the even knows the voice. Have I played Motorstorm? I have completed Motorstorm Arctic Edge. That was an absolute pain to get gold in all those events. That was rough. I don't know who was there to watch that one, but there were some missions on that one, some bases on that one that was stupid. Last year. Ooh. No worries at all, Craig. You have a good day, man. A great or good night. So your Apocalypse came out after Arctic Edge came out, and I do agree that Motorstorm Apocalypse was a really, really fun game. You know, the Rock took sight and the snap of the sight is right. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Crispy fried truck.
Ik heb ook de afgelopen weken allerhande crisisverhalen gehoord naar aanleiding van de tarieven.
So a lot of people are excited for the Phoenix Games movie or cartoon marathon. Hopefully, a lot of you all will be there for it. It's going to be going for quite a while. Oh, it's a fun stream. I have all 16 Phoenix Games cartoons stuttering. I'm going to be marathoning them in one single stream. And we've got a wheel decide to choose which game is next, and a tier list we can do as well. This glorious thing is occurring on the 24th of April, so this Thursday. Because I have basically the earlier that I can start, the better will be for me. So I have all of them here. Every cartoon thing. Right here. Peter Pan, okay. So these go for like 15 minutes. So this will be an interesting stream, I think. I tallied up the runtime for the whole thing. You're looking at like 6 hours. They're all classics. That's why we got the tier list. It's really interesting. The dream to know that each of those games is played in those games. No, I did not do that because that would be classed as copyright. Let's get Peter Pan as an example. Peter Pan. Here we go. Peter Pan, lovely. Fantastic. But, oh, what is this in the background? Oh, that is the first island from Kingdom Hearts.
Ah, something.
Slapped in the background there. Also, now the characters from the Disney cartoon use without copyright. So, yeah, this is a whole bunch of fun. A whole bunch of copyright and this is the original Peter Pan. Why the hell did it turn? Automatically turn. So crispy fried truck with oil barbecue sauce. Means barbecue oil. Oh man. Plus they're making a buffet. Very nice. The wind makes the cars turn and crash around. Really? That's insane. Okay. Hello? What you want? Crispy fried truck? We got one truck. We got car left. No more truck. Stop asking for truck. We're out of truck. All trucks sold out. Factory that road. New truck. Wow. Wow. Well, that tram went right through the other tram, didn't it? Thinking in the true, heavier cars and getting into the cover. Okay. Well, this is heavy. This is heavy. Much better. Everyone come crowd around him. Starts to unlock all the traffic on the show. Yep. There we go. fresh company. No, I've had this for a while now, Brutus. Welcome on.
Er is nou geen eentje over? Twee vlagen, twee en dan twee vlagen. Ja.
You're playing a similar game? What game are you playing at the moment, Brutus? Test drive Eve of Destruction. I don't know which one that was. Test drive Unlimited. I don't know if Eve of Destruction. It might be a different name actually. It is. It's called. It's called. Give me a second. I'll get it. They got the test drive. This is called Driven to Destruction. I thought it was. They got rid of the test drive in the name of it. Also, there's a long case of D there. It's really annoying. Reminds me of Burnout a bit. Ooh, that might be interesting. $3 million. Alright, here we go. Well, there's a few poses. Not bad. This game is really mad fun as a kid. It's very fun, and you find out that the only way to get credits in this game is to find 100% of it. That's an interesting thing to do. Do roundabouts exist in Australia? Of course they exist in Australia. 100%. Roundabouts is a fantastic idea. In case that gives you the credit for maturity to that bug I mentioned, will you count it as beaten? I'll probably leave that up to a poll. Or depending on how hard the game currently is at the time, we'll see. It would depend on how far into it I am, and How many more bases are left to go last?
En dat hebben we onvoldoende gedaan. En ik zeg, daarmee eigenlijk een punt. Natuurlijk heeft hij een punt. En daar heeft Mara gezegd, hij heeft een punt dat universiteiten te unidimensionaal in bijna een gedachtepolitie en een kent. Zie je dat er al uit in deze zaken?
Back around. There's more than one I want to be.
Kijk, je hebt de kast even gesloten. Ik ook. Dit is een stuk meer. Dit doen we zo. Ja, zo.
Okay.
Dit doet mij maar van. Ja, ik heb wel weer wat bestaan hoor.
Je kijkt van is het? Dat vind ik wel erg blijft. Zo.
Even kijken wat we Random creations.
Heb je lekker gegeten, Wout?
Ja hoor, ma.
Dat moet je wel vaak zeggen.
Ja, zo.
Ik ook nooit.
See you later. Super. I am surprised.
Zo. Dit is alweer.
Thank
you, honey. The explanation. Ja. En? Dat krijg je vanzelf weer als je altijd zegt dat niet waar is.
Dat is waar, heel goed is.
Met lang voor je in de keuken niet zo best is. Ik haast niet, het zit niet eens huishoudshulp opgedaan. Nee, er zijn al grenzen aan wat kan en wat niet kan. Nee, ik heb een hele grote meid.
En papa heeft ook een hele grote zoon, top
Ja,
hè?
ik heb een hele grote meid. Ja.
I beat the time last time by so
Yeah, let it download. Yeah, I hope both games are back now because I have delivered some good games. I hope the Net 5 is full. It's still full.
no, dang it. It's really a crash. Alright, come on.
Yeah, I think there's no free space. That's why it does this. No, it is TF, and now it won't be installing. I like to continue with that game, but I want to play it as well. I want to play.
Kapitaal van Le Mans.
Ah, these are.
I did the Le Mans 24-hour stream. I didn't make it all the way though.
Ja.
Dang it. My bad. This is very hard. This is very hard. Try playing with I already have. So I played it. I live the first time I 24-hour live stream for it. But about 6 hours into the live stream, I realized the car that you start off with is not a car that can win Le Mans. So what I did is I quit, used the cheat code to unlock cars, and chose the best car that was doing the game. And I think I went for about 12 hours after that. I was racing for 12 hours. And then I was for at least 16 hours. And I think at that point I was like, oh, I'm so tired, I can't continue this. I stopped. And when I stopped, I realized that YouTube is not far out. YouTube is not saving streams that are more than 12 hours long. I didn't know that at the time. And so a whole 12 hour stream was just missing. And it was extremely deflating as a it deflated me so much that I wanted to continue it the next day.
Down on
So
creation.
the video on my channel for Le Mans 24 hours is literally going back to it the next day. I think it was as long as I could until I basically just gave up because I was just so annoyed with the fact that the whole previous stream doesn't exist. I had my friends over, we were laughing, we were just having such a great time. It was such a good stream, and it's always gone to this. It makes me
Hoi, lieve pa. Hoi, lieve.
Als jij vanavond wil drukken, moet je het tijdig zeggen, hè?
Ja, ja.
YouTube streams, you can stream for as long as you want on YouTube, there's no worries at all. It only saying VODs that are under 12 hours long.
Ja.
I've been watching the GTA Vice City playthrough those 2 episodes of this. Huh. Interesting. What country are you in, Ben?
Niet te snel naar deze. Nou. Still quiet.
I know once 24 hours of Le Mans is. Yeah, well, a lot of stuff for the radio seems to be fine for every country except for Russia. I don't know why, it's just the whole thing with Russia doesn't like. I don't know, maybe it's because of the football thing, maybe a lot of companies are just, a lot of record labels are just stopped allowing things to be visible in Russia.
Yeah, yes.
As I was double checking with your countries.
Yes,
Honestly, if I was to do it next time, I'd probably record at the same time as stream. So I'll move both at the same time. There's going to be enough hard drive for it. I'll probably buy a hard drive just for that experience in general.
Ons aan één show. Ja, aan de bak. En we moeten ook beseffen, we moeten nu echt toe naar een andere regering. Omdat je in deze enorme crisis niet met dergelijke regering dit soort crisissen kunt doorgaan. Dat is een boodschap waar we echt ons begrijpen. Iedereen die met je verstand daarin. Dat is zo misschien voor Amerika als decennia lang blijven niet alleen
So last stream was still over 12 hours today as well. Yes, so even so, you can live stream as long as you want. There's no limit to how long you can live stream. It's just YouTube won't save the VOD for it if it goes over 12 hours.
Nog een hele fijne zondagmiddag en vooral pas.
I played a little bit of that game and he enjoyed it. It was not a good after time. Give away, not great. Videos affected.
This is a tough race. Dang it. Oh my gosh.
Het lijkt er niet op dat de vrouw iets smokkelt. Maar de redenen om over haar reisroute te liegen is.
District review. District had like nothing. District was nothing.
Damn it.
Still nothing new out. Google Dienst. No new campaigns this week. No, no new campaigns.
Getting close, though. Getting very close. Come on. I don't let go of the boost. That's the. I guess I do sometimes, but I don't really let go of the boost. Hey Alexi, how you doing? Probably is nothing like taking a Sunday drive on Easter Sunday.
And now Thomas not helping me. I think I should go here and do something.
Dad. So close. So close. Oh my god. I'm like so close to it now. So close. Oh. Huzzah, final. God damn. Final.
I like steak.
That was rough. That was rough. Right, anyway. I need to end the episode here actually. It's getting quite late, I got an early start tomorrow. I have to end today for everyone on YouTube. Thank you so much for watching. I have a YouTube stream first, of course. I will be live again tomorrow, so have a good night, have a good day. Hopefully everyone has a nice Easter Sunday, and I'll catch you tomorrow. And everyone on the Twitch. It's a pleasure to chat in a while. Alright everyone, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all tomorrow. Have a good night, have a good day. And yeah, I'll catch you then.
Lego Racers! Mom, Lego Racers!
What we call a warp. And it sort of moves you very far through the track in a very small amount of time. And so our racers will be aiming to get as many warps as they can. But it's more than just getting warps. It's using them at the correct time so that you don't miss other bricks that you need throughout the course. So that is the main power-up we'll be seeing throughout the race.
So coming up into Dark Forest Dash, there are a couple small things that the players have to look out for. One of them is a small global timer that runs on a little ghosty friend that will say hi to you in probably lap 2, that you can soon see on Vincent's screen. But also the pathing of where to get the white bricks, because all the CPUs are on a global timer, a global path. They have a couple paths that they can get, and this is probably one of the first tracks that will be important, because Robin Hood here, who we just caught up on, can get a white brick in front of us so that we can't get a optimal warp compared to the two other strats.
But it looks like, at least on Vincent's side, he did not take that brick, which is good. We'll see if Jay has the same luck, and he does, which is always good. The other thing I saw someone say in the chat was block car, and I guess that's something we should talk about. Yes, these cars are very blocky, and that's not just because they are made out of Legos. Both Janik and Vincent are running the 1999 version of the game. There's also a 2001 version that we won't really talk about in this race. But essentially how the car mechanics work are the more bricks you have on your car, the higher your top speed. So we try to pack as many bricks on the car as possible to make it as heavy as possible and as fast as possible. So that's why these cars are just large rectangular prisms, and not anything more than that.
So now we're on the third track is what we call MMM. We use everything in acronyms, and this is one of the first tracks that we used intentional shortcuts, because in this track there will be a light code that you find on lap 1, and with that we can get some more white bricks to make a more optimal path. There's also a different shortcut on this track where you have to use your shield and you can just go through a rock, but that can be used as a backup, but going through the shortcut once is just the optimal way to do it.
Yeah, maybe we'll see the rock cut later on. Yeah, so far, both runners, we're pretty even. Vincent has a slight lead, but overall, this has been a pretty standard start to the run.
Janik just slightly missing a pretty sharp snap slide.
Yeah.
We will come back to later, I guess, to explain what a snap slide is, because there is a lot of details when it comes to that right now about that specific tech. But we're now coming up to the last track of Redbeard, what is DAD for short.
Yeah, so if you look at Vincent's screen or Janik's screen in a few seconds, he'll do this weird U-turn warp. And basically what that does is it puts him right into the shortcut. Normally to access the shortcut on this track, you need some sort of a projectile power-up, a cannonball, grapple to open it up. But Vincent discovered that if you warp in a very specific location, that it will actually just put you right inside, right past the wall that you need to blow open to get into the shortcut. And so because of that, we can avoid picking up any projectiles at all and just focus on our warp speed power-ups. And that was a nice grapple there by Vincent as well. The other thing you may have noticed is, and we'll talk about this again, and we'll say why we'll talk about this again in a little bit, but there was a very large bounce that you saw when they came out of the warp, and we'll cover that a little later on in the run. Because the way that LEGO Racers works is that there are 6 circuits and one championship match, and the first 3 circuits are all unique tracks, and then the latter 3 circuits are the same tracks from the first 3 circuits. They're just mirrored. So later on in the track, or later on in the run, we'll see all of these tracks again. And with that is the first circuit of the run.
With Vincent being slightly in the lead.
Vincent has a slight lead, but there's plenty of room for air to come, and so we'll see how this goes.
Yeah, we're going into probably one of the more difficult tracks when it comes to the early game. It is for the Islanders, and with our new champion, Kahuka. And what Vincent tried, but we're gonna see Jay also giving it an attempt, is trying to push Kahuka right after we get the starter boost, so we can use a grapple on him. And seems like none of the runners has gone it, or Janik not even trying, but that's okay. We're all here for the marathon. They're still racing against each other. And we're gonna go off-road a bit to get this green brick, because we have a really specific routing on this track, because there are only 2 green bricks, so we have to use them into each other to get the most optimal driving on this track. So you can see Vincent flying into the bricks and then going into the warp right after the lap to get the most optimal pathing for this track.
Yeah, they both did that very well. Flying in this game is not easy. Especially when you have to make sharp turns, it can be very finicky. But so far, both of them doing very well with flying strats. It looks like Jay's going to take a slightly different route here. He's going to actually warp here, and he's going to pick up the green in the sand. And then ideally, he'll have 3 white bricks to pick up here. Here's one. He might not have the second one. All right, that's fine. So he'll pick up this second one here, and then he's going to go swimming, as we call it, down here in the water. There are 3 white bricks. He just needs 1 more to finish off the warp here. That's a slightly safer strat than flying. Ideally, he would have had 3 before he entered the cave at the end, because there's another shortcut that he could have warped into, and that would have saved him some time as well.
So coming up into Royal Knights Raceway, we are going through the shortcut off-road again, and we're going to hold specifically left when we come out of the warp, because depending on what you hold or what speed you're on, all the warp is going to be different. And because this this track in general is going to be very reactive because a lot of things can change on the fly to your routing. So as you can see, that probably Vincent and Jay are going to enter track or lap 2 differently, or as we like to call it when Vincent does something different, Vincent's Mickey Mouse strats. He got oiled, sadly. Well,
yeah, that's okay. It happens.
Yeah. So mostly Vincent is getting a pretty optimal RKR after all, except for that.
Yeah, he had White Brick stolen there by Kahuka, but he can just do a Castle Warp here to finish it off. Jay also having to slow down a little bit there. There's a lot. So the other thing about bricks and brick colors is that if you're holding, let's say you're holding a green brick and you drive through a brick of a different color, you will swap bricks. So if you drive through a red brick, you will swap it with your green brick. Your green brick will go where the red brick goes, which we don't want to do. We don't ever want to swap our bricks, except in very particular situations that we'll explain later on. But we call that brick contamination, and generally it's not good. Vincent going for the quick turnaround warp strat here on IPP, Ice Planet Pathway, which really he succeeded. That was very nice. And then Jay with the nice bomb dodge.
Really nice dodge indeed.
That was very tight.
So one thing that you probably might have noticed as well is that some of the slides that they do sound different and they look different because there is not really recently, but a tech discovered in this game that we call snap sliding. And because when you are at top speed and you hold backwards and forwards, you can get extremely tight drifts. And you can keep your speed during that. And we just use that all over the run to get like specific angles going or certain corners that you just normally cannot drift properly. And Vincent had to slow down here because in one of the paths that the CPUs can have, they can steal the white bricks away. But there was luckily one left, so this gave for a still optimal IPP for Vincent.
Yeah, that was a very good IPP. And then a little bit more about, so Nandy mentioned forwards, backwards. So basically what that means, when you accelerate, you're holding usually the up arrow forwards, and when you brake, it's the down arrow or backwards. And you'd think that holding brake or backwards would slow you down, and that is always the case when you're not at your top speed. Or if you're below your top speed, you will slow down. But if you're above your top speed, you will decelerate back to your top speed, right? So if you have a boost and you're going faster than your top speed, eventually you will start decelerating. But what we discovered was if you hold the brake while you're going from above your top speed back to your top speed, you will actually decelerate more slowly than you would if you weren't holding the brake. So you can maintain a higher speed for longer by holding brake when you are above your top speed, which kind of, I don't know, that breaks my brain a little bit because it doesn't make sense. But, 1999 game programming was a whole different world, and I will take it because it makes the race a lot more enjoyable. I think it's a tough mechanic to master, and I have not done it. And but Jay and Vincent are both very good at implementing that mechanic.
Yeah, we also have to probably mention another runner with that, Green, who is currently the second place holder in the category and was the first person to beat the game in 43 minutes. Barely under Vincent. It was a really tight race between the two, but eventually Green took over. But Vincent has the world record back now by just 4 seconds.
Just 4 seconds.
The rivalry is still on.
Yes, and so Vincent had a rough lap 3 there, and so that actually brings Janik back to within 10 seconds of Vincent, 2 circuits down. That was Amazon Adventure Alley. We'll talk more about it when we see it again mirrored. We missed most of it then, but that's okay. We're back into it. We're heading into Circuit 3.
And starting with Circuit 3, we're going to go to what, in my opinion, is my favorite champion to play against. To Basil the Batlord, who is named differently in many, many ways in different countries, because his name is just really random. He's called Flawless in Dutch for some reason.
Yeah, language localizations can be pretty funny.
But one thing that we haven't mentioned, because we keep talking about 1999, is that the game has 2 releases, because this game was re-released in 2001 with some fixes. Most runners run on 99 because of the speed of the bricks, but we are not very sure yet which one is faster, because in 2001 they made the flying a bit just easier. They fixed it because in 99 you can go all over the place if you just fly it a little bit more wrong. So if they fly and they do it optimally, it's really impressive to look at. And what's happening on Vincent's screen right now is that Grill mentions brick contamination, and this time we're actually doing it on purpose because Basil is gonna try to grab one of the bricks, and because we leave him with a blue brick, he uses it immediately so he doesn't contaminate the first green brick that you see when you go over the finish line. So we can use that in our pathing.
Yes, yeah, and that's very important for pathing. There are only so many bricks. Actually, Vincent unfortunately got a red brick, even though he did do the blue-red swap, which is interesting. So that will make for an interesting end of this lap for Vincent. Jay luckily has his green where he needs it, and he'll be picking up these 3 greens, or these 3 white bricks here, as he did before. Oh, Vincent, unfortunate curse. Oh no, but he cleansed it. So one of the power-ups you could get is a mummy's curse. If you got the mummy's curse, throw it in the chat. I'll do it myself. That's 3 white bricks and a yellow, and essentially what that does is it slows your top speed, but it also reverses your left and right directions, which can be very confusing if you're not ready for it. So that brought Jay a little closer again, and we're moving now into Pirate Skull Pass, second track of Circuit 3, pirate themes. Everyone loves the Lego Pirates. This is going to have an interesting tight turn right up here, so Vincent's going to get his warp. He's going to turn tightly into that white brick, and then that's going to spit him out right onto a green brick, which is exactly where you want to be. That is not an easy turn. Hitboxes with like walls and things in this game are not always as they appear, so it's very easy to clip a wall that's not really there, and end up going somewhere you didn't want to go initially.
So technically in this track, you can contaminate the green brick every 3 laps because they just keep on trying to get it. So this track is still a bit tight when it comes to RNG, but luckily the first green brick and the most important green brick will always be there. And one thing with the warp that they do into the green brick at the start is that it is really finicky because normally the runners want to brake before they warp, but it doesn't always work, or it just lets you do weird things. And
for my
own setup, I just
going insane. Vincent is going backwards.
He's just moving. He's showcasing the gameplay,
and he's still got it. Oh my goodness!
Vincent really showing off right here.
Yeah,
truly proving that he is in the first place.
Wow.
And a family member in the last place.
That was insane. So Jay with the unfortunate 2 cannonballs there, but he should have enough whites here where he can drive into this shortcut, in quotes. It's really not that short because it's off-road, but it does have 2 white bricks in it, and that allows us a warp there near the end of the lap. So over on Vincent's screen, he's moving into ATT Adventure Temple Trail, or Trial. I never remember which. This is arguably the hardest track in the game. It is the longest track in the game. It has the most obstacles in the game. It can kill your run probably more easily than any other track.
At top level of this game, it can't just all come down to this level. That's just how much this track can do to your whole run.
Yeah, you can either save 10 seconds or you can lose 30. It's all over the place. But they both had good lap ones. Mid to upper 30s for your first lap is pretty standard. And so Jay has a warp and he's going to turn into the shortcut here, and that actually gets him way farther down the track than if he had warped without turning into the shortcut, which is always what they go for.
By doing a slight break before you warp, you can actually warp directly into the white brick and the green brick for an optimal pathing.
Yes. So far, first two laps are usually pretty straightforward. It is lap 3 when you start catching up with the CPUs that it can get a little concerning. Occasionally, there's a curse where Vincent is right now, but he luckily avoided that. Jay is taking a backup here, grabbing these 2 white bricks over on the side to do a warp here, which will spit him out right there. He dodged the zapper, always good.
Barely missed the white brick, but from the looks of it,
but he's okay.
He's
never
okay.
punished. Never punished.
So as you can see, the difference between Jay and Vincent has been changed drastically just from one track.
Yeah, and it's not even that Jay did anything bad. It's just kind of how the routes work out from time to time. And now over here on Vincent's side, we're over on Alien Rally Asteroid, the duo UFO insectoid themed track. One of my favorites. I think it's one of the community favorites, really. This is a very enjoyable track to play, just even casually. There's a lot of fun things. Oh, Vincent unfortunately missed his white brick turnaround there, but he still had a very good first lap.
There are a couple things that you could do in this track. As you can see, Vincent and Jay are both doing completely different strats. What Jay tries to do is he tries to land in a specific part after the shortcut for a more optimal warp. And what Vincent is doing is Vincent is once again Mickey Mousing it, doing it his own way, getting an extra white brick. But it seems to be paying off for him because he's schmooving through the track.
Yeah, he's having no issues here. This is a very good ARA for Vincent. And he doesn't even have to do the turnaround lap 3 because he'll end up right at the finish line. And that is circuit 3 for Vincent. Pretty good Basil overall for Vincent and for Jay as well. Nothing really catastrophic happening for either runner.
And coming up to the next champion, we're gonna go into a Lego character that is still getting updated in sets to this day. You might recognize him, Johnny Thunder.
We'll see who it is. John Thunder.
John Thunder.
John Thunder, the man.
The myth, the legend. Totally not referencing Indiana Jones.
Not at all. But now is when we will start seeing the past circuits mirrored. So this is all of the Redbeard circuit, both mirrored and you play the tracks in reverse order. So we're starting with Desert Adventure Dragway, and it's mirrored. That's really the only difference. The CPUs do go slightly faster in the latter 3 circuits, and the champion of the circuit, they prefer different bricks. So each champion prefers a certain brick or a certain power up, and so Johnny prefers something else or something different than Redbeard, but it doesn't come up too often. But again, so basically same strats as the first circuit. We do this weird warp turnaround into the shortcut. If you look at Janik's screen here, he unfortunately missed the DAD bounce, but Vincent just got it there. So Vincent, when he comes out of the warp, is holding nothing. He's holding no direction, and you sort of hit the hill in a way that your speed is so high, and you just kind of bounce, and your top speed isn't decreasing because you're not touching the ground. You sort of just bounce, and you go really fast through the hills in the tunnel here. And that was also discovered around the time that we discovered the forwards-backwards mechanic for slowing your deceleration by holding brake when you're above your top speed.
So for that, we're going back in the reverse track order, and we're now going to do Magma Moon Marathon instead of what normally would be Dark Forest Ash. And so basically the strats are going to be the same. The only thing that a lot of people actually still do not know about this game, and I only discovered when I started running this game, is that the code for this track is also backwards.
Yes, that can be very confusing. So up here on the right, you see this code here, this red, blue, or blue, red, blue there on the side. And that's an easy one to do in reverse because it's the same thing. But if, for example, if you saw it like left to right, if it was like red, blue, blue, the code actually would be blue, red, red, because of it being mirrored. And so Vincent here will fly through blue, red, and then blue again to open up the shortcut here. See, Jay has an easy one, red, red, red. That both have very easy mirrored codes.
But and red, red, red actually also being the most optimal code to get.
Yes.
The runs. Because it's the easiest, and you can sneak in a extra green brick easily.
Yeah, it's very easy to drive through it.
Optimal.
Jay grabbing that extra white there, which was good.
And then sliding to the right instead of the left against the wall for a more optimal spin out of the war.
So unfortunately, Pharaoh's Mummy stole the white brick that Janik wanted, but he has an easy backup here.
You might get... No. Yeah, I was going to say you might get grappled here.
It worked out. So Vincent back over Dark Forest Dash. Again, just, very... Alright, so Vincent had an unfortunate... He started to skate around the corner there while flying. Luckily, he missed the ghost, but he also missed one of the white bricks that he wanted. And so he's just going to boost it out instead of grabbing that warp there. Which is fine, not, it's not the end of the world if you have to boost it out. You lose a few seconds, but, had he hit the ghost, it would have been much worse because the ghost can pick you up and flip you around, and you can end up just, facing backwards, or you lose your flight. It could be much worse than just missing a white brick.
Am I the only one who thinks that this track looks like Miffy?
It might be a you thing, but
it had to be mentioned.
Gotta let him know. So right there, Jay hit the ghost. He had his flight kind of got, he got stuck and couldn't make the turn in time, which is unfortunate. But again, he's got the bricks he needs to do the warp here. Only losing a few seconds to the ghost. So Vincent has about a little less than a lap lead here, but we still have a lot of races left, a lot of difficult races left, and then our final race, Rocket Racer Run, that we'll cover when we get to it, can just go completely off the chain. It'll be wild. So we'll see how these things go when we get to them.
Most of the time loss or differences that can happen in your full game run are mostly happening in mirror. It has to do. I don't know what it is, but even though it's the same track, it just plays so completely different.
Yeah, that's very true. They are the same. You swap your lefts and your rights, obviously, but yeah, for some reason, it just much more can go wrong.
Just a lot of the strategies that you would use on the normal tracks just don't seem to work. But with that, there's a one lap difference between Jay and Vincent right now, and Vincent just keeps on smoothing.
Yeah, they're both doing very well.
They're doing amazing.
So one thing that you've probably noticed on a lot of tracks is there are shortcuts. Pretty much almost every track has a shortcut. Looking at you, Night Marathon, but we don't take the shortcut on this track because it's just not faster. It technically is a faster route, but because we want to pick up those 3 white bricks that Vincent just got, that Janik also just got, we don't take the shortcut because you would miss all 3 of those, and it doesn't really make any sense to take the shortcut. So this is one of the tracks where the shortcut is omitted, just because it's better to go around.
So coming up, we just finished Johnny. We're going into our next rival where we actually start with AAA and end with the TIT. And we're going to play against the Baron.
The Baron. The Baron, or the Sam Sanister, if you like to be wrong. So AAA is, all these tracks are pretty straightforward. It's just the RNG is usually not in your favor. There's a large chance that you won't have all the bricks you need, mostly on lap 3. Again, it's because you catch up to the CPUs by then, and they just, their pathing is, they got to have some bricks, and sometimes they take the bricks that you want. And I guess one thing we can mention is brick respawn. So the colored bricks, the reds, the blues, the yellows, and the greens, if you pick those up, they will respawn roughly 5 seconds after you have picked them up. White bricks are different in that they won't respawn until they are used, which is sometimes why we don't have the white bricks we need, because they're picked up by a CPU, and then the CPU just never uses a power-up. And so that white brick will just forever be missing until it's used by the CPU, and that can really cause problems, because we want as many white bricks as we can get, and there's only so many on the track, and we have to follow our routes to get the ones that we need. So we'll see how it goes here for Vincent. Got there just before a chew. Throw your chews in the chat if you got them, because he did not get us today, but he could be a real menace if he gets to the green brick before you do.
Archer really wants that green brick. And 2 out of 3 of the pathings that he can take, he takes that green brick just before you.
Yes, and it's worse on this circuit than on circuit 2, because again they're moving a little faster in the back half. They have a slight speed boost, and so they will get, if you're not moving fast enough, they will get to that brick before you. And unfortunately for Jay, his green brick was contaminated with a yellow, and so he's unable to warp here, and so now he's just hoping that this river brick up here is green, and it is, so they'll be able to warp it out in a little bit here. But that was... Go ahead, Danny.
Oh, yeah, sure. It is actually quite rare that CPUs contaminate either yellow or white or blue bricks. They tend to use them immediately, but when you see a yellow brick, it is quite rare.
Yeah, that's very true. Some of them they'll just use like immediately. So seeing a yellow there is obviously not what you want to see, but also not very common. So that was an unfortunate break for Jay. But we're back to Ice Planet Pathway, the Ice Planet 2002 series of sets, which are definitely very popular among LEGO fans. I enjoy them myself. Again, this one's pretty straightforward. You want to be warping. You want to be going fast. That's the name of the game. And so far, that was very good. Vincent already finished that IPP. That was very quick. Had very good laps. Lap 3 can be pretty RNG heavy with white bricks again. There are a lot of them, and another thing is that there are a lot of green bricks on this track, so we're not really worried about missing greens being contaminated and whatnot. It's just the white bricks that can really cause problems for you. Jay doing a quick George check. Real quick George check. That one might be, I don't know if we need to go through that right now, but depending on how you play with the camera, you can be zoomed in all the way in like a first-person view, or there are 2 other more zoomed out modes. Being as zoomed out as possible makes it easier to see upcoming bricks. And most players these days play fully zoomed out.
Well, it seems like Vincent just got a little bit of bad luck with a red brick being contaminated on the green.
He also didn't have that corner white, but he should be fine. So Vincent will not be taking the shortcut. Nope, he will be taking. I lied. He's going crazy. I thought he'd take the backup, but no, he's out here.
It is still Vincent what we're talking about, but you think it's gonna go the normal way. You don't know Vincent.
It's true, but he got this green here at the end, and that was a pretty alright RKR. Jay hitting the those are tough pillars to drive around. Again, hitboxes. What are they? They're always where you don't think they're going to be. So if you hit those pillars, it can just like stop your entire momentum. You got to back up. Do things you don't want to be doing. You never want to be going backwards in this run, and unfortunately sometimes pillars just get in the way.
Vincent setting up for the grapple, but Baron last minute grabs the white brick away.
Unfortunate, but that's the name of the game.
So what you see Vincent quickly do as a small optimization, he uses the oil to hop over the off-road, so he has a little bit less off-road and keeps his speed while going through the shortcuts. Because in this game, if you're a little bit wonky or not on four wheels when you go down a hill or just hop a bit, you keep your speed on the off-road, and it can be used in our advantage and also just against us, because if you would do this on the normal track, you just have no control over your car.
Yeah, it can vary pretty greatly.
It can, yeah, it can be anything. And once again, Vincent playing it a slight bit safe. He could have gone for the white brick in between, but he takes the beach warp instead.
Yeah, it saves a little bit of time, but safety strat's probably the way to go. And he has all his white bricks here, so he should have it fine. He picked up that red brick there just in case a CPU behind him were to pick it up. He would get hit and lose a white brick. Jay doing fancy turnaround. He unfortunately missed the green the first time, but just does a quick loop back to it and, grabs it there. Second time's a charm. Probably the better way to do it so that he doesn't, you want to at least warp there, whether or not you have to turn around for the brick. But that's circuit 5 for Vincent. Jay again is going for the shortcut warp here, so he picked up the green there after a warp instead of flying, and so he's going to hope that all the bricks are here. He's got 1, he's got 2, and he's got 3, so he is going to take the shortcut up here on the right. Get your shortcut warps in chat if you got them. And so that pretty much just warps him immediately to the finish line. The shortcut cuts off a lot of the cave section, and it will get you to the finish line a lot faster using a warp.
So now we are on to our final circuit, actually. Well, it's technically the final circuit, because after this circuit, there's only a circuit with 1 track left.
Yeah.
We will keep that a little surprise. People might actually know what it is already, but,
We'll see.
We're coming up to ARA. There is one thing that we haven't mentioned during the first run of ARA, and that's where a small exploit that we can do with the UFOs. Because if we would use a shield, what we might actually see happening, if we use a shield on the first couple frames that you get hit by the UFO, you get pushed forward. And when you shield there, you can actually get a giant boost forward. Vincent trying, but actually not succeeding.
Yeah, it kind of took him sideways instead of forward. It's very contextual. Like the UFO has to be on the right cycle. You have to have a shield. There has to be not really anyone in front of you, but it can boost you forward quite a bit, which can save some time.
Maybe we will see. No, we will not see Jay attempting it. He was a little bit too fast for the UFO.
But that is ARA for Vincent. He's moving back into Adventure Temple Trail or Trial. I honestly forgot which one it is. But again, if Vincent can make it through this track without too many large issues, he's in a pretty good spot. This track, as a casual player, this track is destructive to your mental well-being. So much can go wrong, and if you're not if you're driving, not as fast as you possibly can, like Vincent is here, you're just gonna run into more problems. And even as Vincent is, driving very fast and doing all the things you need to do, eventually he's gonna catch up to the CPUs, and that's when RNG comes into play, and really, you're gonna have a bad time a lot of the time that you play this track.
It's also playing it extremely safe, but still so fast. Because normally, when you are at top speeds and you would warp into an item, what we always try to do is we take an extra white brick or a green brick while we warp. But when we are flying and we have enough speed, we can even take 2. And Vincent has been doing that consistently for the last 2 laps.
Vincent flying through the shortcut like a madman.
You're really showing off right now.
The shortcut on this track is very small. It's hard to drive through it without hitting a wall. And flying through it is just insane. I don't know why you would ever do that. But again, Vincent's out here Gets an extra. Oh, he missed the extra white. Unfortunately, I couldn't tell if it despawned. So occasionally you'll see a white brick somewhere on the track that it's not usually supposed to be. And if you have white bricks in your inventory and you get hit by a projectile, so like a cannonball or a grapple, you'll lose one. You will lose one white brick, and it will just drop right where you got hit. And it won't stay there forever. I don't know the exact timing on when it will despawn, but eventually it will go away. But sometimes you get lucky and you get to pick up an extra white brick that you don't normally have.
So coming up into PSP Mirror, there can be a slight issue with just Moth in general, because at the start of each track we always try to push the rival backwards. But since Moth's car is just really big, sometimes you could just push her forwards. And if she is in the lead in this track, you're gonna be in a lot of trouble because she prefers to grab green bricks in general. So she's gonna take all your warps away.
Yeah. Yes, Gypsy likes the green bricks, and we also like the green bricks. And when you both want them, sometimes you don't always get them. So Jay had a very unfortunate lap 3 there.
It was very unfortunate indeed.
I think there was a lot of flying and not a lot of warping, which, flying will take you roughly the same distance as a warp, but it is slower because obviously you don't really... Warps last about 3 seconds, maybe 3.5, and then you're where you need to be. Flying, you have some speed boost, but not as much as warp, obviously. But all right, so Vincent has red brick where he wanted a green brick, so he is unfortunately going to just have to hope the cave brick here it will be there. He's going to wait a little bit, but that's not too bad.
So will he go for yet another Vincent Mickey Mouse? And he seems to be trying with a giant bounce at the end of PSP. This is something Vincent randomly found and now just uses it in his advantage. Vincent always coming in with the goofy strats that always seem to work.
Yes. High payoff, but definitely can get you if it goes wrong. So unfortunately, Jay had a contaminated green brick there. He got a red where he wanted a green. So he'll be taking a slight back up here, grabbing this green down here. And that will play into how he plays lap 3. Again, it depends a lot on what bricks have been taken and what haven't. He also hit a wall that wasn't a wall, but it told him he couldn't drive there, so he missed the first white. That's a red. Alpha.
Also getting cannons.
Oh, no.
And also having a contaminated red. PSP is really bullying Jay as we speak.
Yeah, this is unfortunate. PSP is also very difficult. Probably maybe the second most difficult after ATT, or depending on who you ask, it's more difficult. But he'll take this backup warp here, and that's PSP.
Yeah, Basil and Moth are just in my opinion, the hardest to because of the tracks that you get. And what was that boost that happened too?
So Vincent took he warped into one of the whites before the warp, and he hit a pillar. Sometimes you can get stuck in the pillar, and then it will shoot you backwards much farther than he just was shot back. I don't know what he's doing now. These are some strats of all time.
He's just showing up right now. Even we have no idea what he's doing.
Yeah, we knew it was going to be something, but this is something for sure.
He's going for that It's a Small World right now.
Yeah, somebody's got it. Jay taking the more normal warp strat over there, grabbing the green, swapping these blue and red bricks for the lap 3 RNG, which is always good. Almost never fails. But that is Circuit 7 for Vincent, or Circuit 6, excuse me, for Vincent.
Going into Circuit 7 right now.
Yes.
With the man, the myth, the legend, the unbeatable, the strongest Rocket Racer.
I knew that.
Well, yes, he's technically unbeatable until you beat him, and then he gets sad and he goes and starts Lego Racers 2, and then,
Yeah, and he
beat him again, and then,
he kicks newspapers, and that's how Lego Racers 2 starts.
And then once you beat him there, you can find them all washed up in Lego Drome Racers.
That I actually didn't know.
All right, this is Rocket Racer Run. This is the final race of the game. it can be very difficult. So you don't want Rocket to be ahead of you, and unfortunately, Rocket is ahead of Vincent. So what he's going to do is he's going to take the shortcut right here. It's sort of a smaller shortcut. It just warps you through the middle of that circular part of the track. He should be fine now. He's back ahead of Rocket. He zapped him out of the warp, which was pretty wild.
So Rocket Racer has a lot of paths you can take. You can do it in so many ways. There is a extremely fast way. We call it a 9 warp, but it has not been done in a run yet, or has been recorded yet in an RTA run of this game.
Yeah, I don't think, and apparently a 9 warp isn't even the fastest strat. I don't understand how, but
we still find new things in this game every day.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. So Vincent's on lap 3, so time will be right as this race ends for each racer. So Vincent, unfortunately, missing some whites and some greens, but he's loaded up now. He just wants to avoid Gale Storm and her Wand of Doom.
JD's starting a bit more safe. You saw Vincent going directly for the green brick, but the more safer strat is to go to the red brick on the left, so when Rocket Racer catches up on you, that you can cannonball him, so that you are in the lead. And coming up next, almost time for Vincent by taking a turn and fly. Oh,
yeah, basically, probably. Oh, he's just driving.
Oh,
make it easy for the timing. That'll be time for Vincent. The swag reverse strat. Oh no, Jay!
Missing the shortcut.
Missing the shortcut. Now he's just driving backwards, going insane. I don't know. This is a moment of all time. So he'll be warping there to turn himself around. I'm not sure how that happened.
I'm not sure how Jay's brain is doing right now. Sounds.
That's all right. Sometimes the cannon don't go where you want it to go.
This game really likes the bully. And
that worked a lot better there. That worked a lot better that time.
Oh.
Unfortunately, hit by a stray rocket. Let's see how this ends out here. Missing some greens, but he just needs some whites. Probably. I don't know if Gale Storm is going to hit him with the grapple.
He does, but he gets the push.
Well, that's okay. He got the push into the warp, around the corner. 3, 2, 1,
and time.
Still very good runs across the board. I think sub 46 for both. Low 45 for Vincent, mid 45, maybe 46 for Jay.
Can't believe Vincent tied my PB.
Yeah,
I cannot believe this run. This was the most insane run ever.
That was a run of all time.
This is one of the runs ever. Oh my god.
This is going in the books as the run.
I think I've not been bullied by bots this much ever. This is crazy. Anyway, GG.
You did amazing. GG, guys. GG. You did amazing. Good show.
That's LEGO Racers. Very high levels of chaos and high levels of fun.
What you consider fun?
Well, yes, if you consider that fun, then I suppose it's fun. But
then I would tell you to join the Lego Discord server and pick up yourself some LEGO Racers.
Yeah, come visit us in the Discord. It's we're always around to help. We always like seeing new runners. So, you guys have anything you want to say?
I think that's it for me.
I don't know. Shout out everyone. Shout out all the people running the event.
Shout outs to the LEGO Racers community. It's a small handful, but we always have fun together. We have community things sometimes. We do runs. And yeah, there's always more happening every day.
Thank you all.
Enjoy the marathon, I would say.
Yeah, thank you all so much for being on. What a fantastic race, and thank you so much for helping on commentary. Like I said all day yesterday and today, if you're interested in any of the LEGO games that we run, you should join the community. They're all wonderful people. They'll definitely help you out. It's a fantastic community to be a part of. We do have more LEGO coming up. We've got Bionicle the game coming up next. Before we go to our break, just a quick reminder, Summer Games Night Quick 2025 will be live in Minneapolis, Minnesota from July 6th through 15th. You can register to attend the event by May 26th. You can use !SGDQ in Twitch chat for more information, or you can go to gamesonquid.com. With that said, we'll be back in just a few minutes here.
If I know the next game. Bijna komt de keteltjes. En daarna krijgen we... Open up on challenges. Ja, en hij vraagt om geld. Uw man vraagt om geld, dus ik vraag het u wel. Maar u mag ik gratis. Next. Kijk maar aan Lego games. Ja. Geef mij maar Lego. Een man vraagt om geld. En met je geld dat hij kan krijgen is het weg.
Ben je klaar?
Ik ben klaar, schat. Oh, ik heb zo nog een beetje. Kampioen mama! Dankjewel mama. Als je man ziet boe roepen, dan pas op, hij wil geld. Lekker geplast. En dan geen geld gaan kosten. I love to, and I love listening to BTU. Some days doing quick is also coming to little sister. Yeah, but this time I'm thinking I'll just read it to us what you can. It was really slow. Yeah, I'm gonna go to the yeah, that's right. Okay, yeah, do you have a computer? Yeah, I would do that when I'm on my machine, when I have second time. Biggest and take a look how much space it gets into all my games. You can play the game? Not I always yes. Hello, Skills, are you there? Who's can go? Right.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Games Done Quick Hot Picks. Today we are celebrating the 20th anniversary of LEGO Star Wars, the video game. We've got Bionicle the game here. I will hand it over to our runner commentary and let everybody introduce themselves.
Hi, everybody. I am Milkblade. I am one of the world record speedrunners of Bionicle the game, and I'm very happy to be here for GDQ showing off this game today. I'm also a Bionicle VTuber as well. We're a whole Bionicle theme today, and we're very happy to be here. Celebrating some LEGO Star Wars with another classic and a near and dear LEGO thing with Bionicle. Love it to death. And joining me today is my speedrun other half, another wonderful and insane runner who was kind of my mentor starting out for me as well. So they raised me from the ashes at the beginning of my running this game, is Andre, who you may recognize from yesterday's insane LEGO Island speedrun. So we got some multi-talented people here. The game demo is starting. But Andre is joining me on comms today.
I've been running this game for, like 5 years now. Former record holder, current second place. And I've done a lot of the glitch hunting and strat finding in this game. So a lot you're about to see, I did find, but...
Blame them for when I mess up.
Not all of it. Had a lot of help from a lot of the amazing community members, so super excited to be here. Alright, I think we're ready to get started. Milk, you want to go ahead and count us down?
Alrighty, let's see what BTG has us doing today. We'll hit it with a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I hit the control stick and ruined it all. 3, 2, 1, go.
Alright, so to start with the run here, you're going to see Milk immediately quit, or basically just quit out to the main menu. This is one of the few cutscene skips we can do in the game. For some reason, the first cutscene has a flag that gets set that it's already been watched as soon as it starts, so he's able to just quit out and immediately skip that cutscene. This does work a little bit differently on different platforms, and some cutscene skips that you can't do on this version of the game. This is the GameCube version. But some skips you can do on every version of those ones there. Not only was that the optimal line to take through that route, but jumping on those rocks, it actually skips a text box, which basically just explains how to double jump and play the game.
It's also the first part where my nerves shoot up, because that's the first thing you can mess up in the game is you jump right in the lava and miss the stone. And I'm not going to lie, I almost did right there. And that would have made me very sad inside and outside, actually.
That's like a live run classic, but thankfully didn't see that there. There you saw Milk jump around the left side of the tower there. Not only is that a shorter line, it also skips 2 text boxes. Text boxes in this game basically pause the game and take a long time to scroll through the text. So skipping as many of those as possible is always best. So for this level, we're going through and collecting the Matoran, the little villagers, as we need to collect 5 of them to be able to beat the level. That's not always the case for true any percent. If you've noticed, this is any percent NTS, which stands for no Tahu skip. Basically, in this level, there is a skip that you can do to skip roughly 2 minutes from the run. This level is shaped like a big letter Y, so you start at the bottom and move up to the sort of fork in the middle. Milk's about to get to here.
It's shaped like the question you ask yourself when you run any percent. Why? Exactly. Why are you doing this to yourself?
So basically, Tahu skip works by going up towards the room to the boss arena, which is up and to the left. And if you walk in between a rock and a wall, you'll sort of rock back and forth.
Oh, here comes the line.
Probably one out of every 100 times you clip through. But it's very, very rare to actually happen, so we're not going to be doing that here today. So there's Takua. He's one of the main characters of the movie, which this game loosely ties into. He's sort of more of a side character here, as this focuses on the playable Toa. This one is Toa Fire.
We walk past the area there for the 80%. The Taos get there. We will see it when we go into the arena the correct way. But we'll make sure to wave at the wall and all the horrible things it has done to runners. And here, I will not be going for a certain trick that is very, very weird to go for, but it is something, I call it Big Papa Skip, which is a very... You notice how there's 3 lines here? This is basically a slot machine, and it's even worse odds than Vegas.
This is, effectively a slot machine. Basically, there's a glitch in this game where if you double jump and then immediately get hit after your double jump, it gives both your single and double jump back. So you're able to actually use that with correct timing with the laser that enemy shoots to refresh your double jump and jump across the gap to skip having to defeat it. But it's very, very difficult and very rare to go for. Taking an intentional death there is that sets your checkpoint a little bit further ahead, so that saves a few seconds. And now coming up to Rahi Room, up in a little bit. This room is very interesting in the way it works. There are 4 enemies on the pillars and 1 drops in from the middle. So he's going to be shooting them in a specific order and a specific timing to complete it optimally.
Assuming that the targeting system does play nice with me, this game has a bit of a weird system for locking onto stuff, so it can be very weird. And these bugs, these Hodo beetles, these Hodo bugs, as they bug around. Ooh, actually, the targeting system is working. You can tell it's targeting when the... Ooh, shot right there. When the little lock-on signal is on the thing. There we go.
So you see I'm doing it in a sort of almost counterclockwise motion. If you do it in a clockwise motion, some interesting things can happen. You saw a little victory animation that Tahu did there. If you do it clockwise, the victory animation plays after this cutscene, which is actually skippable on the PS2 version, I think the PC version as well, by saving and putting out to the title, but for whatever reason it does not work on the GameCube version.
I don't know if we preface that, but we are running on a GameCube version of this game.
This is the GameCube version. It is the fastest version to play on by, I think, roughly 2 minutes, both to faster loads and some platform-exclusive glitches. But some of them, like the cutscene skip there, only work on things like the PS2 version. But even with those, the GameCube version is still by far and away the fastest.
Alright, you think I'm going to get lucky here, Andre? What do we think?
We'll see. So, this is the very RNG-heavy section here.
Ooh, you just saw a monstrous save right there. That's very, very random to get there. That is a triple hit. When the Borok pop out, you were able to get 2 hits on them free when they're doing the little scream at you. But if you're lucky and have the mandate of Mata Nui, you can get a triple hit if they spawn directly underneath you and you're quick on the trigger finger there. That saves a lot of time. There's a whole nother cycle of rolling that they will not do on that first Borok. That is an insane time save to get there. Also, Gangster's Paradise as he ascends to the heavens. We're getting some real rare stuff here today. I'm liking this. This is a fun run right here. Now I'm a little motivated. You know what's going to happen at some point.
This part of the game, Milk's using a mechanic that's not described in the game, but it's actually in the manual. By pressing L, you can lock on to whatever enemy that the targeting system is on, and that makes it just much more consistent to be able to shoot the enemies. I'm coming up here after this cutscene. This is going to be one of the loose tie-ins to the movie, where Takua's going to talk about the Mask of Light. But this game focuses on the playable Toa. And right after, Milk is going to do a safety save, which we normally wouldn't do in runs, but we're going to do because this next level does have a chance to crash. This game is not very well put together and largely unfinished. So we're going to do a bit of a safety save here just in case.
There we go.
So coming up next is Kopaka. This is the Toa of Ice. This is one of the first what's known as adrenaline levels internally in the game. Levels are split up into 2 categories. There's one where you're basically just walking around like the previous level, collecting Victorian and getting from point A to point B. But this one has some more exciting mechanics, maybe snowboarding our way down the hill. You'll see a couple other adrenaline levels later on in the game. This game was, like I mentioned, largely unfinished. Each Toa was supposed to have both a walking level and an adrenaline level, and both as their base, what's called Mata form, which is what you're seeing from Kopaka and Tahu here. And then later on, the next level, you'll see the Toa's upgraded Nuba form. Each show, like I said, was supposed to have one level from each, but only Tahu got the 2-level treatment. This is Kopaka's only level, and you'll only see Nuba levels from here on out after this.
Yeah, we will skip the cutscene, but there is a cutscene that shows them all transforming after this, which is very cool. But sadly, we don't watch that.
Yeah, it's slow to watch though. We're going to be skipping that. On the way down the hill here, you're going to see Moat is not going to be taking basically what would be a traditionally optimal line down the hill. You're going to see him sort of zigzagging back and forth. That's because the level geometry is very rough in certain spots. So certain steep angles can pop you up into the air, which reduces your horizontal momentum. So you're going to see him sliding basically left and right around to stay on the ground, as that is a little bit faster. And this section of the level is pretty straightforward, just getting from point A to point B. That thing in the bottom right corner, that green and red thing, is actually a timer telling you how much time you have left. And this tunnel is very interesting. This is one of the potential crash spots, which thankfully we got by.
There is a glitch that can happen. You saw it right there. There's a little stutter, and I got a little worried there. But there is a glitch where the camera can get stuck on the ceiling outside the cave, but Kopaka will keep moving forward. However, there is an invisible wall about 40 feet in front of the character, so you will just see Kopaka infinitely plinking off of nothing in the distance as you watch your game slowly die and beg for mercy. It's just like,
yeah, the other alternative there is
shut
he's
the
crashing,
console
so
off.
thankfully neither happened.
We were never meant to go this fast.
Yeah, I think if you go too far into the little ditch in that area, that can primarily cause it if you're too far to the right. But avoiding that. Now, Bionicle lore heads are going to be confused by this cutscene because Nuju is just speaking plainly. In the lore, he only speaks in a series of clicks and whistles by choice, because he just, refuses to speak English, I guess. So that's a little bit confusing.
He's the guy who who studied abroad for one semester at college, and he comes back with an accent, and he didn't pick it up naturally.
This is the first of the 2 boss fights in this level. Now, this section on the GameCube version is a little bit weird. You see a first-person perspective. On any platform that's not the GameCube version, there's a very thick black fog in this area. So it forces first person to use Kopaka's mask ability, which is X-ray vision, in order to be able to see through the fog. But in the GameCube version, that black fog doesn't render, so it just appears useless and annoying. You can actually press Y to trigger the X-ray vision at any point in the level, but it's forced during that section. And like I said, first the 2 boss fights in this level, going for a 3-3-1 cycle, just shielding the Borok and then shooting it 3 times in the air. It is technically possible to get 4 hits on the first cycle, but so far nobody has actually pulled it off.
I have not been taken by the avarice so much as to go for that in this run.
Yeah, I've only been able to do it in a tool-assisted environment, but nobody's hit that RTA yet, but never say never.
Oh, yeah. And one thing on the mask powers is kind of an interesting thing with this game. While it does play fast and loose a bit with the lore, like the transformations and everything, it is kind of interesting how all of the Toa do kind of use their mask powers. Tahu, everybody has the shields, so that kind of is a bit cheating for Tahu. But Kopaka uses vision, Gali, you swim around in the water, Pohatu, he has a faster base move speed, and then Onua, his main mechanic of the level is pushing rocks, so he has the actual massive strength and things. And Liu can fly. So it is kind of interesting how they did genuinely try. You can see where the effort is in the game. Obviously, we joke it's made out of paper mache and spaghetti code, but there's a lot of effort put forward, and you can see it in bits like that otherwise, if you weren't really aware of that in lore and such, that is a very minor thing they didn't have to do, but they did anyway.
Yeah, it is nice to see that they definitely had some good ideas, but not all of it came to fruition, unfortunately.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty straightforward. It is a little jarring at first, going sort of backwards to the camera and towards it, but the rocks always follow the same pattern, so it's pretty easy to maneuver around. There is a rare glitch that can happen in this cutscene right here, where Kopaka gets off his board, he'll T-pose and vibrate in the ground. But I think only Flup is, for some reason, the only one able to do that consistently, because she's just built different, I guess.
Before we leave Kopaka, as I go up to the next boss fight here, do you want to talk about there is a glitch you can do with Kopaka, actually, where if you spam the shield button at the start of one of the sections where he's getting on the board, you can actually dismount the board and walk around as Kopaka. It does not save any time, but we have actually been able to walk around in these levels casually and just see how things are. And it's not even like a weird like hack or something that just is in the game where you can get off the board if you mash correctly and time it right. I'm gonna be quiet now because I don't like this guy.
You can actually avoid some cutscenes by doing that, like the one right before the boulder run section. Unfortunately, since your walking speed is so much slower than your snowboard speed, it loses way more time than it saves. But it's interesting that even if you skip the cutscene, you can still walk down to the next area, and it will progress normally, even with those cutscenes skipped. So it's a little bit interesting. That was a really good quick kill on Tannock. That boss can be very, very annoying. So that was pretty well done there.
Rule of thumb is you want to kill him before he gets to the river, and it can get really tight when he decides to be a mean person.
Yeah, there we saw a jump scare from the Chrono. That's the cutscene of them transforming to their new form, which you're going to see from here on out. So this level is very, very difficult, and I'm mostly to blame for it from all the ridiculous things that I've found. Golly has incredible ability to just clip through walls practically wherever you want. So you're going to see Milk basically hopping in and out of bounds, collecting Matoran to be able to do this as fast as possible. Basically, you can swim, and by landing in the water and mashing Y, you can effectively clip through any wall that you want. There are also other ways to get through and to save time. So this is going to go by pretty quickly. He's going to have to collect 13 of the 15 total Matoran in this level. Some of them are going to have text boxes that play immediately, like this one, and some of them have text boxes that play the next time you hit the ground. So after this first room, he's going to be collecting 2 Matoran in hopefully a single jump, but without touching the ground. They're doing a bit of an upwarp, what we call a yump. By doing a jump against a sloped surface, it actually converts your horizontal momentum into vertical momentum, and you're able to basically fly up certain slopes. So here's the first. I didn't get there, but yeah, that's a very hard trick. If your angle is slightly off, you can hit the ground there and get the text box. But ideally, you'd get both Matoran in that one jump to skip one of the text boxes. But there you can see how slow these text boxes do go and how much time it saves to be able to get them. Yeah, not uncommon to miss that, but yeah, definitely a very, very difficult trick here.
That one is one of, I would say Golly is generally considered the hardest level in the run, just because it's a constant gauntlet of tricks. I would say the hardest trick belongs to the, the hardest trick belongs to the next level, just in my personal opinion as a runner, but I think Golly is the hardest level by far, just because of how much, just the trick density and all the things that just happen with it. And Gate 2, you saw the other thing can be a little mean. That one's an actual nemesis of mine. That one likes to be a little mean to me when it pops me back out.
Yeah, if you saw when he hit that text box pop from the ground, there's actually a dark energy cage like you see right here. So this is how you're supposed to be able to go through and break the cage and then collect the Matoran. But he actually jumped under the cage at just the right angle to be able to grab the Matoran through the cage and skip having to grab it. And they're going for another text box skip, so that one plays a text box the next time you touch the ground. So he's going to clip out of bounds and then maneuver around the geometry here to hit the level N trigger, or the section N trigger rather. And that will clear the text box since you're moving to a new area, so it deloads it and skips it entirely, which is very nice. Now coming up, he's going to be setting up a pretty convoluted trick here. First, going to do a yump up the side of this wall here to skip having to walk all the way around. Very well
really
done.
Good one there.
Yeah, it was very good. So what he's going to do now is walk on top of this area and collect this Matoran, and that sets up the first of 2 triggers. Basically loads the end level trigger into memory, and then by jumping up against that wall, it actually activates it and makes it active. So now what he's going to do is clip into this platform here, which is going to activate the end level trigger, and that skips having to walk all the way up and around and trigger it normally. If you mess up either one of the 2 trigger points, it will actually soft lock the level if you don't hit it correctly, because if you enter that wooden platform without having it loaded correctly, it quickly deloads it, so you have to quit and restart the level. So that was very, very well done there.
Thankfully, we have it down to a science now where you have to go and what you have to hit, because for a while there it was pretty nebulous of, I think you go in this general area, and then you wind up with 3 golds into this level, and then you soft lock yourself, and you and the ceiling hits different at night when you do that. That is a sad day.
Right there you saw probably one of the easiest and biggest time saves in this level. That's the boss fight quick kill. You just charge up your blast that you normally use to break the dark energy cages, and all the Balrog are vulnerable as soon as they pop out of the ground. So if you charge the Nubu blast and release it at the right time, it kills all of them instantly. I think it saves over 1.5 minutes. So it's very easy and very well done there. So coming up, we have Bohatu. He normally has the massive speed, but we're going to see an adrenaline level here. But first, he's going to climb up on the wall here and avoid a cutscene. In most levels, the cutscene plays as soon as you start the level, but this one's delayed until after you walk forward a little bit. So he was able to walk up along the walls there and...
What is this? Higher beings, these words are for you alone. Then our lands do not hide.
Jumping in this game is a little bit weird.
Remember, kids, if you jump up the stairs, you go faster.
Exactly. But if you walk down a sloped surface, it changes your vector angle, so you actually lose overall horizontal momentum when walking down a slope. So you saw him jumping down the slope and up the stairs to basically keep maximum horizontal momentum that whole time. And like I said, this is one of the adrenaline levels. This one is a little bit interesting. Pohatu has the Mask of Speed, so you know, I would have loved to see like a really fast running section here. But instead, they stuck him underground in a minecart. So it's going to be rather interesting.
Yeah, if you're a fan of Donkey Kong Country, welcome to Pohatu's Minecart Madness level.
This level's really fun. It's going to look very strange. The way this section works is... basically, you can build up to a max horizontal speed by going down a slope, and then when you go up slopes, you lose speed as you go uphill. But if you jump up slopes, you don't lose any speed, so you're going to see Milk basically building up his max horizontal speed and then jumping up every slope possible in order to preserve as much speed as possible. And that's basically the name of the game throughout this whole level. There are some obstacles and some 6 different locks you have to hit in order to be able to finish the level. And then as you progress, your energy level, which is the orange bar up in the top left, will slowly deplete. So he's going to be collecting these green energy spheres to basically replenish that as much as possible. This level is quite difficult, especially in the 100%, because there are a lot of light stones scattered around the level, and the hitboxes on some of them just are made up and just exist when they want to. There's a few that are actually hidden, like directly behind a pillar, so they're not actually visible when you go past them, so you just have to sort of know that they're there to be able to grab them. So it's a little bit interesting.
And coming up here is going to be what I personally find to be the hardest trick in the run, at least the hardest solo trick. We call it Pohatu Jump. And there's
very creative naming with our skips. We had Tahu Skip, Pohatu Jump. We had Onua Jump for a little bit. Very, very creative here. Bionicle speedruns. So basically, coming up ahead, there are 5 basically statues with axes, and there's a few different ways you can progress through it. You can slow down and shoot them, but obviously that loses time. But what he's going to be doing here is jumping at a certain rhythm in order to set up when he's landing, and he's going to try to shoot the first axe when he gets to it, and then jump over the second one. See if he gets that here. Very well done. That's a lot harder than it looks.
Ooh, baby, somebody stop me.
Very difficult to do.
Watch me
cook,
He
made that look really easy.
That is the hardest trick in the run for me, and I'm very happy to have hit that. That one is a pain, because the hitboxes on those axes, I was really worried there, because you can snipe the first axe with the shot, and the second one, if you are a hair early or a hair late, you will hit the second axe, even if you look like you're jumping over it. The hitboxes are absolutely, I don't even know if I want to call them abysmal, I just want to call them evil. They're actually frightful evil hitboxes.
The last one, like, you can actually, like, if you run into the last axe and it bounces you backwards, you can still hit it again because the hitbox still exists for some strange reason. So yeah, he made that look incredibly easy, but that is so hard. That's really impressive. So coming up is Onua's level. This one is very cool and has undergone some massive changes in the past few months. Thanks to myself and another runner, Fluff. She was basically instrumental in getting the route down for this. But last time this was at an event, I believe this was at Legothon this past year, and this level is now a minute faster thanks to these discoveries. So this is a GameCube exclusive glitch, which we call Door Stuck. But one of this levels is to push these rocks onto these platforms, and which opens the door, and then you can progress through. What you see Milkplate do here is walk.
You know, I think I forgot something. I forgot to turn the oven off. Let me head back real quick.
So he's going to try to wedge himself inside the door collision, and then line himself up and jump up and out of bounds. Didn't quite work there. This is incredibly difficult.
It is a very
requires some setup.
Finicky trick. Ah, dang! If you pop out the other side, like right here, you have to take a death and reset, which is very tragic. But
yeah, but even with those, still saving time over not doing it on a second try. But yeah, this is very, very, very glitchy door collision, and very, very interesting. For a while, this level was very notorious for crashing. Now the GameCube also has an exclusive crash glitch, which is not beneficial at all, but
There
we go. Now he gets
Second
out of
try
bounds.
charm right there.
But basically, those Hodobugs and the Scorpion enemies have a tendency to crash the game if you use your shield right next to them. So for a while, we didn't really know exactly what caused it. So we'd end up crashing a lot on this level. Thankfully, now that we know, and we're avoiding a lot of the enemies by floating out of bounds, it's much, much better. So you're going to see him basically floating through the void here for a little bit, and as the level collision pops in and out of existence, basically going through the level, you can't just fly straight from point A to point B. You have to hit different level triggers and load zones to be able to progress further. So that's why you see him sort of pop in bounds and get close to the level here. Coming up, this jump is very, very tricky. You have to jump off a certain piece of geometry to get enough height to be able to make a jump up to the next section here. So you see that there? There we go.
Oh, nice.
Remaining out of bounds there is very difficult. It's very easy to pop back in bounds there. But skipping just all of this room, and then coming up is a very big skip. We get to skip a big hallway, which has these like bull-like enemies that just smash against a wall, and very, very tricky to avoid them and get through it optimally. But thankfully now we can just skip right past it.
For how long we have theorized on how to skip the Cane Raw Bull section, it is incredible that this is what it ended up being, because I don't think anybody figured this was going to be the outcome of that idea.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I basically was losing time to that bull section. I would recommend also popping back in bounds here to reset the respawn. Or yeah, just go for it. Why not? So here we're going to be progressing straight to the boss arena. This part out of bounds has been in the run for a while, because there's a very easy way to just clip out between a rock and the wall. But coming up is what we call the 5-frame or death jump, where it is a jump that is a 5-frame input window to be able to get. Because you have to jump over some water and onto a piece of collision here. So I'm letting focus a little bit here as we come up to this. Nice.
Don't even need the respawn point.
Don't even need the safe respawn. Yeah, that is very difficult because he stayed out of bounds.
And it's horrible.
Yeah, it's 5-frame input window, and because he stayed out of bounds throughout the entire level, he never actually set a respawn anywhere else. So if he had missed that jump, he would be restarting all the way back from the very start.
Back to the beginning, baby. No 4-quarter continue here.
So this part, there's no way to skip the boss. Basically just pushing these rocks onto these vents as they open. Each one opens in a counterclockwise motion around the arena. So he's setting up rocks and then pushing another one on as the cycle comes around him. So
this is my patented milk cycle, because I sat down for an hour one day and just figured out, all right, here, how do I make this as efficient as possible?
Yeah, this is the most efficient way through here. There is a way to actually glitch one of the rocks like inside the vent, so you can sort of push it in early, but it's very difficult to set up and it doesn't really save that much time. So from the last few years, that was very well done, Onua. Like I said, that saved about a minute over the previous strat, so awesome to see that done very, very well. Live run, it's really, really cool to see.
A little tragic on that second try door stuck, but door stuck is an incredibly annoying trick. I'm very happy that it only took that long to get it.
Yeah, that's still
world exploration.
There we go. I got Deepwood. There's a trick at the beginning of Lewa where you've got about a frame, and if you can get a jump input out, Lewa will jump up into the air before the cutscene starts, and then if you hold down around the end of the cutscene, you save, what do we say, about 20 frames by not having to walk.
You have 6 total frames of control before the cutscene starts, and 2 of them you're grounded, so you have 2 frames to input the jump. So if you hold down and jump at that point, it saves up to a total of 24 frames, just from that micro movement right before the cutscene starts.
Which it might not sound like a lot there, but
yeah, it's a lot for 24 frames, but it's really cool to see done.
There was a specific arc of the last year when I was running any percent where I missed a 36, like a new minute barrier, by 1 frame, and I did not get Deepwood in that run, and I was kicking myself. Because if I had just gotten Deepwood, that would have made the difference in that minute barrier. I have since crushed that barrier, but that stayed with me for a good couple of days after that one.
Just goes to show that every frame in this game counts.
Oh, yeah.
So we call this gamer jump. This is a really cool momentum preservation. By jumping off of the branch before the end of it, you preserve your higher branch speed, and you can actually keep that after grabbing the rope and fling across that gap. And that
Grandmaster rank gamer jump.
Yeah, Grandmaster rank gamer jump. That's one of the flashier and really more fun tricks in the run. It just looks really cool. You're seeing him take a lot of intentional deaths here. You're supposed to jump back up to the start, but it takes a while to traverse. But you can just die, and it only you only lose 1 health from dying in this level, which is unique because you lose all of your life and have to take a long respawn in every other level. For some reason here, you only take 1 life hit, so death warps are very, very quick in this level.
We're gonna hope I don't get extremely unlucky here because this trick actually has. All right, we're good. But with that trick, I don't know if we've ever figured out what it is that caused it, but there's a small chance where to save time from going back up there, we just take the additional hit right there. But there is a weird thing where I think if you go high enough on that jump, you can activate what's I'm just calling it kill floor, where it will not take 1 hit, but it will just kill you, and then you will have to you will have to take the extra seconds on that.
That was an issue, but I think since we do right side first, even if we take the hard death there on the left, we still end up not losing any Vitorin. So I think in that case it only loses a couple seconds instead of like 30. So now finally we have the ability where Lewa can fly and hop off these ropes. This is a pretty straightforward but pretty fun, just point A to point B section. We're going to be seeing a couple different tricks here. One of them is specifically with these ropes. They're very, very buggy. And this level in general is weirdly buggy with the pause menu. If you pause during certain sections, it can just cause the music to like loop the last few measures or just break it entirely. We're going to be using the ropes with pause in a very funny way first. But first I have to ask, are you going for it?
I mean, I second try door stuck. I can't not go for it.
All right, he's going for it. So this is Footloose Jump. Shout out to Bionicle Heroes runner Footloose. The first time they played through this game casually, they just hit this jump. That milk plate hit. Wow, that was very close.
I'm
they
hitting
basically
all
didn't
the
know
weird
the correct
stuff.
way to go.
Why not?
Why not? Yeah, that's incredibly difficult. It looked just barely possible, but you have to jump off that leaf on a certain frame in order to actually make that. So here we're going to see the vine pausing. If you pause the game, very close there. Not quite enough height.
Not enough. I should have done second pause there.
But that gives me time to explain how that works.
Yeah.
Basically, when you pause the game, like all these vines recoil after you unpause the game. So he's able to grab onto the rope and then pause the game to make it recoil to give him just enough height to cross that gap without having to go all the way around. It's very, very strange. Not really sure why exactly it happens, but it happens to all the ropes in the level.
Gibby!
That's what we call Gibby.
That's that.
Jump off the side there.
I've been saying that for years. This is the meme of Gibby falling from the ceiling, and that's the trick. Everyone who knows it, we always yell it.
This part of the level is really interesting because I take a different. It shatters his ribs. I take a different route through this, and I think most runners take a slightly different route in this windmill room. But it all evens out because the windmill's on a set cycle there, so it doesn't actually make a difference. Now,
so
here's a cutscene that it's just for style. Here's a cutscene skip that doesn't work on GameCube. So this cutscene here is playing now on PS2, Xbox, and I believe PC as well. On that little balloon elevator earlier, if you fall under it and just die right before you take it down, and then hop on, that cutscene doesn't play. But for whatever reason, that skip does not work on the GameCube version, and it's totally unknown as to why. But GameCube doesn't seem to like to do the cutscene skips. And then coming up, we have, probably the most well-known trick in this level is, we call it Freebird. This is a massive text box skip. I think it saves like 7 to 10 seconds. Basically, there's a text box that plays when you get close to this bird, and there's a load zone right in the same spot. But the text box trigger is slightly smaller than the load zone, so you saw him fly along the edge of the wooden platform there, and that avoided the text box while still hitting the load trigger, and that saves a massive amount of time. That trick used to be a lot worse, where we'd have to try to land on the very corner of the platform. It was super inconsistent and really difficult, but I figured out a way just to fly around it, and that made it basically free every time.
Okay, yeah, it's free now. I'm not gonna lie. There was a small bullet of sweat going down my forehead there because there's still the chance where if you are too high or do not hit the actual trigger there, this section will not load. And guess what, buddy? It won't load no matter what you do now. So you soft lock your game.
Yeah, if it doesn't load, there is no way to actually recover. You actually have to just quit and start a new game. So yeah, very tricky there.
Here we're
This boss can also be a pain getting looped by Panrak here. Basically, you want to try to corner it so that it can't jump to an adjacent platform. But depending on which RNG cycle you get, there's basically a 33% chance that he'll jump up, which is what Milk got there. But if he jumps to the left or right, you can basically kill him immediately. But yeah, he can sort of jump in very unfavorable directions if he jumps up, like you saw there. So it's quite difficult. But overall, it's pretty well done level. And then coming up here, we have the second Tahu level. So you get to see the only Toa that gets the 2-level treatment. And here we get a link back to the movie where Takua is on a quest to find the 7th Toa who can wear the Mask of Light. But spoiler alert, it's Takua all along. He puts on the mask. But we find that out at the end of this level here. Yeah, this is another adrenaline level. You're going to see Tahu doing some lava boarding, which you actually see at the beginning of the movie. And yeah, this is a very straightforward adrenaline level, just point A to point B. But this is very difficult, especially for casual players, because there are no checkpoints in this level at all. So if you die or lose the race, it is back to the beginning for you. Now, there is something very, very interesting that I want to talk about in this level is Milkblade had a dream.
Yes, I had a dream. I had a vision from Mata Nui one night as I lie snug as a bug in a rug in my bed. I was visited by 3 ghosts. All of them were this game. And within my vision of...
Okay, Ebenezer Scrooge.
Within my vision of horror, I saw this level. And within this level, there was a trick that did not exist. It was where you would ram straight headfirst into a wall, and you would clip out of bounds, and you'd be able to fall to another part of the level and save a lot of time. 2/3 of that is true, because...
Yeah, so Alan told me that. I was so curious, and I was like, what the heck do you eat for dinner that made you have that kind of dream?
We were trying it out, and we were laughing it on stream, and it turns out that... that does exist.
Yeah, so there are
in the exact section that I dreamed.
There are a few spots in this level. Yeah, one of them is the exact same spot that you dreamed, that you can actually clip into the wall, and you do fall out of bounds. But if you clip in a certain way and then let go of the stick, you will start to float out of bounds. And I absolutely lost it when I realized it was actually happening.
The moment that I first clipped out on stream was unbelievable, because the vision was true.
Unfortunately, it's not able to be used in the run. I did end up working on a tool-assisted run-through using that glitch, and it is possible to actually skip down to a later part of the level, because it basically makes a little mini spiral, so you can land in the later part of the level. Unfortunately, you miss certain respawn points and checkpoint triggers, so the camera does not face the correct way, and you gray out by bonking into a wall, and it resets you further back. So even if you do it like the best possible way, it still loses like 40 seconds. So it's a little sad that it didn't end up working, but it's absolutely insane.
The tragic part is that it can't be applied, but the good part is that also it can be applied, because trying to get it to work alone is just beyond difficult. But the fact that it is real is just, oh hey, the vision tech is real.
The vision. There's a couple other places where you can still clip out of bounds, and they work even worse. There's some parts where the camera clips out of bounds and falls down below, but your character stays. And there's some parts where your character clips out of bounds, but the camera stays in bounds. So it's very interesting. Coming up to the final level here, we call this Makuda's Casino, because this
also
is just purely down to enemy RNG. You get the Laugh Factory. This is just purely about shooting the enemies and killing them as fast as possible. Unfortunately, these enemies in this game are very annoying. They can sort of hide behind the ledge here, or they can basically fly into Makuda and become completely invulnerable because Makuda's hitbox just overlaps. So thankfully the frog's being pretty lenient there.
Oh, and one piece of tech that's actually pretty applicable in a couple different situations and levels is what you see me that I'm just kind of like stuttering forward a bunch. I'm mashing on the D-pad while I fire forward to cancel the animation for the shooting, because otherwise you do a slower animation for it. So this allows you to rapid, and especially with Takanobu, because he has infinite energy in this level, so you don't have to wait and recharge. and it allows you to. I was going for the triple right there, being a little greedy, but you saw me wait for the hit there. But you're able to rapid fire machine gun his Takanuva with this with no penalty, which is very nice.
Yeah,
you can see they're hiding behind Papa Makuta there, not allowing you to get any hits in, which is very annoying because these guys love to just play it safe and hide forever. Thankfully, the B is going to be a little nice, but the Nui Rama is just kind of having a field day with the hitbox there. All right, there we go. I managed to off-screen the Nui Rama there.
That was pretty good. So if you saw the two stripes, like wasp-looking enemies, two of them died instantly. So normally there's a big one, and then you shoot it, and it splits into two, and they do like a long flip backwards, and they're totally invulnerable during that. But if you manage to hit the big one while it's shooting at you, it cancels that invincible flip animation, and it splits them immediately, and you can immediately shoot them again. So we call those instant Bs because you can just kill them instantly that way. It's very rare to get and very difficult, but is a worthy time save. And there you saw him moving to the left rock off the start there, just because the one on the left flips over a little sooner. But this is the final part of the game, coming up on the final boss fight, and time coming up in a couple minutes here. So this part's pretty simple. You just walk on these platforms to flip them over. Makuta will drop a shield, and you just reflect a ball back at him. Pretty straightforward. You can have 2 cycles of this, so 1 more to go, and then a final section where you actually start to do damage to Makuta.
And optimal kind of movement here. You can walk with the control stick. I prefer D-pad to hit a little funky Takua.
Doing the stanky leg over there.
Stanky leg Takua is the best attack, honestly.
Also, yeah, another thing that a lot of people, especially casual players, didn't realize, but for some reason Takanuva can fly. Not really sure why, but it's incredibly useful during this part.
I think the idea was that they were going to give him just every Toa's powers in this, because he also, if you watch his, I'm strafing right now, so you can't really see it, but when in his run animation, he has the same running as Kohatsu, where he will stop and kind of have to catch himself because he has a higher base movement speed.
Oh,
so
yeah.
We've never put Takanuva in water, but I would suspect that he's able to swim, weirdly enough.
Oh, I should try that.
Because that's just my theory. Because he has Pohatu's movement
coming up right here, by the way. So time is ending as soon as the cutscene appears. And time. Very, very well done. Yeah, this is one of my absolute favorite games.
By time 3908, not too bad. Honestly.
Not too bad. Yeah, sub 40 is pretty good.
Only the top 5 runners in this game. Getting checkered and kinged by Panrak, that's not too terrible.
yeah, that's pretty good. Only the top 5 runners in this game have a time under 40 minutes. So get that live at Hotfix, that's pretty cool.
Okay, guys, I'm going to end soon for now. I will be
Very well done,
streaming
We're going to watch the...
Oh, yeah.